Welcome to the BSc Strength and Conditioning with Rehabilitation. My name is Dr. Andrew Morrison and I'm the course leader. In this presentation, we're going to look through some of the key aspects of the course. We're going to start with some of the themes within the course. So many of you think strength and conditioning, you're thinking of professional sports. We absolutely prepare you for that career within professional sports, looking at either professional sports teams or athletes individually. We're looking at their speed, agility, endurance and strength to avoid injury and to compete at the highest levels. And in that vein, we align our course to the UK Strength and Conditioning Association standards. However, we also have a broader national recognition of the national concern regarding low levels of physical activity. So we're also going to work with you so you can understand older populations, younger populations, motivations for physical activity, looking at people with disabilities, being able to communicate with healthcare professionals and understand how exercise can influence these particular conditions. So that's the broad themes within the course. What about specific module learning? So in your first year at level 4, we're going to start with 4 rather large modules, looking at, to start with, multidisciplinary sport and exercise sciences 1 and 2. So they're both sports science modules looking at your core pillars of sports science, which are psychology, physiology, and biomechanics. So really get an underpinning of how people move, how people perform, and how they think. And on top of that, we also need to teach them how to move and perform in different ways. So in Introduction to Sports Coaching and Development and Practical Delivery of Sports and Physical Activity, you're going to be looking at the pedagogy of how people learn. You're also going to be looking at the practical application of that with real-life case studies. So overall, you get both the how the body works and how you can influence them. You also have the opportunity in the first year to do a gym instructor qualification. This is on the side of your other teaching, and it's an optional course, but one that will allow you, once the year is completed, to be able to start working in gyms and gain that experience that you need. So moving on to the second year, we're starting to get more specialisms within both the sports science and coaching and the strength and conditioning and the rehabilitation areas. So obviously we have our first dedicated strength and conditioning modules. You're going to be taught how to do basic lifts, squats, gym work, and looking at the basics of that and looking at how to structure programs. But on top of that, we're also looking at functional rehabilitation, so looking at the acute stages of injury and what you do in those early stages. So as well as the basics of strength and conditioning, we also still need to carry on with understanding how the body works and how we can teach people to change their behaviours. So with practical competencies in biomechanics, we're looking at particular pieces of biomechanics equipment. So you'll get to use high-level pieces of equipment like Vicon motion capture system, a 3D motion capture system, looking at force plates, EMG, and also within physiological profiling for strength and power. We're looking again at different measures of strength and power and see how we can develop those within athletes. Also, so that's how the body works side of things. We're also looking at applied teaching and coaching. This is a fantastic module where you'll get to take your learning about how to coach people and how to organise coaching events, and you're going to develop an Easter camp that you're going to deliver to groups of school children around the Cambridge area. And that's going to happen around Easter time, and this will be a live project that you will be creating yourselves and delivering aspects of. So on top of that, we've also got your first opportunity to make your choices of which pathway you're going to take within the course. So we have options here for physiology and biomechanics, so physiological profiling for endurance or biomechanics analysis of motion. So from this point onwards, you can start to specialise in either biomechanics or physiology. So moving into level 6, again, we're now getting to higher levels of strength and conditioning, looking at sort of powerlifting moves, also looking at rehabilitation, so later stages of rehabilitation, looking at returning to play. We're also looking at other potential areas such as talent ID and sport development, alongside exercise medicine, and looking at how people can use exercise to help with certain physical conditions. And also, as I said, we're starting to specialise in either biomechanics or physiology. So your options that you'll be choosing at this level will be applied biomechanics and current topics in biomechanics. So applied biomechanics will be looking at using case studies, looking at assessing them, testing them in the lab, and then creating or generating a report and recommendations for them going forward. Current topics in biomechanics is looking at the more advanced topics in research, advanced topics around the world within biomechanics. Physiological basis of testing and training and responses to training. So we're now starting to look again at case studies and how people adapt and respond to exercise training programs. On top of that, at level 6, we've also got your undergraduate research project. So at level 5 and 6, we're also looking at research methods, and you'll be able to create your own substantial piece of research in whatever area you've learned up to this point. So that's broadly the overview of the course. But how is it actually taught and how is it assessed? Well, to start with, we'd say that we're teaching in some quite incredible laboratories that we have. So we have the the British Association of Sport and Exercise Sciences bases. We have our labs accredited by them, and they are. We have some large labs with strength and conditioning facilities, physiology facilities, biomechanics facilities. We have extensive space to be able to perform these practical assessments. And we also align all of our teaching to the UK Strength and Conditioning Association standards, and making sure that we cover all the stuff that we need to, so that when you come out of the university, you're ready for your career in strength and conditioning. So the type of teaching we do, obviously we have the regular lectures and seminars. We also have laboratory work and field work. And also working with varieties of pieces of computer software. So we have all of the standard things you'd expect. We also work with some more innovative technologies and learning technologies, doing a lot of work online. You can have video lectures, online lectures, as well as having practical examinations, presentations, scientific reports, looking at creating, as I mentioned before, the Easter camp, which is a live case where you go out there and create the program yourself, but also live case studies coming in that you can work on. We have practical assessments, making sure that your lifting technique is as accurate as possible within our strength and conditioning modules. So we have a variety of ways of assessing and teaching you. So what do our current students think about that? Well, biggest survey that we have to check on this is the National Student Survey. And this is a nationwide survey to see how satisfied students are with their courses that they're doing. And overall, we do pretty well. Overall satisfaction, 100%. So our students are happy with what we're doing. This isn't just us blowing our trumpet. These are the stats that come out from the national surveys. So the teaching, 100%, learning opportunities. You're getting fantastic learning opportunities within the course that you're doing. Not just a single survey there, but also looking at different newspapers that bring out their own guides and league tables. We also do pretty well in those too. We're ranked top 20 for the best courses in the UK. We're actually ranked 3rd in the UK for teaching in sports science, and also 12th in the UK for careers on graduation. So you can be sure that we're not just saying that we're good. When we compare ourselves to other universities, or these league tables compare us to other universities, we also come out highly ranked as well. Okay, so we've talked about teaching and assessment. What about employability? So we've got to think about what you're going to be doing once you leave this course. So first of all, one of the underpinning things within the course is that we have employability embedded into it. We want to make sure that you leave this course, with the best possible chance of getting a job. So as I said, we do a lot of practical work. We do a lot of give you a lot of opportunities to get experience within the modules themselves, whether that's working with case studies. We also have guest lecturers come in, people who are experts in their field, within industries that you're going to be working in, coming in to talk to you about specific topics, or I might be talking about just what it's like to work in that area and how you can get into it. We also have, running through the modules, we have employability credit modules, professional development modules. So what they do is they give you the opportunity to amass credits every time you do some volunteering, or you you get some experience working in a particular area, then you amass credits within those modules. And you need to get a certain number of credits to be able to pass those modules. So you couldn't be able to get through this course without gaining some experience of working in the industry that you're looking for. And on top of that, extracurricular activities, we always encourage students to do as many things outside the course as they can. So we have, there's research and consultancy experience. We have a student-led consultancy within the university, so you can get involved with, we have school children coming in to be trained with our S&C students. We also have external things, like we have the Cambridge Half Marathon. You could volunteer to be an ambassador in the Cambridge Half Marathon, help to organise that. We also have external speakers come in. We have the Excellence in Sport lectures. So we have Olympic gold medalists coming in to talk about their experiences, as well as ultra endurance athletes, many of which have been trained by our lecturing staff at the university. So there are a multitude of experiences that you can get whilst you're working with the university. And also, our teaching staff themselves are well qualified and well accredited to be able to talk to you about working in these industries. We have people from all of the listed accrediting bodies at the bottom there. So the British Psychological Society, psychologists. We also have chartered, BASES, chartered scientists. Our strength and conditioning coaches are UKSCA accredited. Our nutritionists are British Association in Nutrition and Lifestyle Medicine accredited. So we have a variety of experience within our course. So what opportunities are you going to get while you're here? So I've talked that you are going to get some opportunities, but where will they specifically be? So they could be with elite athletes. We have links with teams like Leicester Tigers, Northampton Saints, Cambridge United, quite regularly coming up for internships over the summer, small bits of work, but they lead to relationships with these teams and places where you might go on to work in the future. We also have many of these, when you go and do internships for these places, they also pay for recognised coaching qualifications that you might be able to do on the side, which are great opportunities to do those. We can also look at some slightly different areas. So you can work for the NHS, doing some internships at the NHS, respiratory physiologists. Some people have gone on to work in that area, but also some slightly left field options like the European Space Agency. We've had students go off to do work with the European Space Agency. So there are a multitude of opportunities, some that are standard that we have year on year, some that are new ones that are occurring every year, and different opportunities that people can work with. We actively try to increase the number of opportunities that we have for students to be able to do during their course. Well, one of the main things we do, as I said, we have a student-led strength and conditioning consultancy. So this is pictures from a local school where they come in to be given strength and conditioning programs, and you can get involved with that right from the off, learning how to work with children, learning how to work with people in our consultancy. So what kind of jobs do people go off to do? Well, they do a variety of jobs. Obviously, strength and conditioning coaches is kind of the main one. But we have everything that I mentioned before, cardiac or respiratory physiologists, looking at sports science lab technicians, but also people going into more sort of clinical roles of GP referral practitioners, but also going into educational roles, so looking at working at college or university lecturers. So we have a wide variety of areas you can go into. Obviously, strength and conditioning is what we're preparing you for, but we're giving you underpinning skills that can be applied in a variety of different areas. And of course, there's also the opportunity to do postgraduate study. We have 2 MSc courses, one in sport and exercise science and one in sports coaching. You'll be able to do those if you wanted to carry on after the course. And also we have PhD opportunities, both university funded and self-funded. So finally, obviously you're sporty people, you're looking to play sports while you're at university. Well, here we go. There are university teams that you can play for in a variety of different sports. And within Cambridge, you have these opportunities to interact with a variety of sports and other activities around the universities that are in Cambridge. So hopefully that's been of some use to you. There's also lots more information on the university website, particularly in the School of Psychology and Sports Science where we're based. And also I'd encourage you to follow us on Twitter. See our Twitter handle there. Have a look on there. There's always some useful stuff both to do with our research or current events that are happening within sport and exercise science. Hope that's been of some use to you, and hopefully I'll see you soon.